Yeah, so I think I've gone through and given you guys an update before, but these are the black locust seedlings that I started from seed, and we're coming out of our first winter with them now. So I planted them basically about this time last year, I think. It may have been a little bit earlier, January or February. Remember, it was still pretty cold because I put a black bag over it to help warm the soil. But anyway, I think they're starting to wake up for the spring. I think I've got 5 or 6 that made it. I killed off a couple unintentionally last summer by not keeping up with the water. That's got some good spring in it, so I don't know that it's dead. Anyway. Anyway, we're gonna repot them today. We're gonna try to split them out of here, get the roots loosened up, and basically go back with them about 2 to a bucket instead of, you know, all 6 in a bucket, because I imagine the roots are gonna be pretty tangled. And of course, these are some thorny little boogers. They're nothing like a honey locust that's just absolutely covered in big thorns. These little thorns are, oh, I can't remember. I knew the name for them, but they're not. They won't get a whole lot bigger than that. And they're not, you know, they're at each little crotch, but they're not nearly as problematic as a big 4-inch long thorn on a honey locust. So anyway, I've got a whole wheelbarrow full of compost here, and I've got a couple of buckets that the handles have broken on, and so those are going to become new planter buckets. I'm just going to knock some holes in the bottom and make them pots instead of buckets. So let's get them pulled out of here, loosened up, and replanted, and I'll tell you what it looks like in the end, I suppose. Alright, so I'll just show these to you guys, show off a little bit. Looks like I've got 5 plants here that have made it. I think I said 5 or 6, so here's 5, but I want to show you the roots on these. These are just 1-year-old seedlings. These are really, really good, and you know, I didn't do anything crazy special. Probably, and I broke that one off, that sucks. I broke a big chunk off of that one, actually. Here's the rest of it. See, so this was part of that one, actually. But it broke. Oh well. Tell you what, I'll plant that in a bucket too and see if it doesn't come back. You'd be surprised. That might actually come up on its own. Sprout a new seedling. This one here is my big tuna. That's probably my proudest one. I mean, that's just massive. That's really, really good. That's incredible for a 1-year seedling. It's really, really encouraging, you know, because like I said, I just stuck them in a bucket, put them on the patio, and these are from seed. This was not a cutting or a graft, so this is 1 year's growth. That's really, really good. Like I said, it's really encouraging. Of course, it makes me want to take on another project and plant thousands of the things, which I don't need to do. I don't need any more projects, but maybe someday. The other 2 here, really not bad. Like I said, still really good. Really good, really fibrous, very, very fibrous, not just like a crazy stick. And you know, they're not wrapping around like crazy. I was afraid I'd have some wrapped roots because there were so many of them planted in one bucket, but they did really good to grow in through each other and not twist around the sides too much. So really happy we're planting them up. Like I said, I'm gonna go I think I'm gonna go 2 to a bucket here. I'm gonna put this one big one in a bucket by itself, and I'm gonna put this root that broke off the other one in there with it and see if something new doesn't sprout. But otherwise, it'll be 2 to a bucket. So I'll grab those 2 in a bucket, those 2 in a bucket, doesn't matter. So we'll end up with 3 buckets, and yeah, 1 or 2 trees per, potentially 2 trees per at least. I think I overfilled those a little bit. I'm gonna dump some dirt back out of them, and then I'll be able to put the seedling in there and kind of hold it up so the roots have a really good spread on them, and then fill up around the roots. Okay, so yeah, you'll have to excuse the tractor. I just remembered to make this little wrap-up video, but see how we got them all potted back up now. So 5 in total. If we're lucky, that little busted root that I buried up in there might actually sprout a little seedling of its own. So we'll just have to see. I guess it's not technically a seedling then, it's a root cutting, I guess. But you know, the nature of these things being a legume and being, you know, a kind of aggressive grower is, I would not be surprised at all if it does sprout. But for now, we got 5 that look pretty good. So I'm excited to let them leaf out again this year and see how well they grow in year 2.